feel that I need to give a cruise line 2 to 3 tries before I decide if the cruise line is for me. But at the end of the day, though, I am just happy to be on any cruise ship. I've tried Carnival, Royal, Princess, and Virgin at least 3 times. Each of them have their strengths and weaknesses. My first experience on Virgin was not that much fun, but after 3 more sailings on Virgin, it is now my favorite cruise line based on what I value on a cruise vacation. We tried Celebrity once in 2019. The cruise was not memorable and we were bored out of our minds at night. The only picture that I have of that sailing is of Joel outside of the ship and a few videos from our time at Aruba. When my friend invited me to sail on Celebrity's newest ship, the Ascent, I figured this was a great chance to try the best the Celebrity has to offer. Otherwise, I probably would have never sailed Celebrity again. I did a video where I walk around the whole ship on the first sea day. The video is unnarrated and gives you a good sense of how full the ship felt on this sailing that was at full capacity at near 3,200 passengers. I posted the link to that video in the description below. I didn't spend much time researching the ship before the sailing because I wanted to experience Celebrity with no expectations and to figure out what worked for me and what had me confused, like my embarrassing moment with the bathroom doors. More on that later. Our ship sailed out of Fort Lauderdale on a rainy and cloudy day. Since we fly in for all our sailings, we usually have Uber drop us off at the port terminal. I did learn something new when we dropped off luggage with the porters first before going to the parking lot. That was smart. I probably would have carried all my luggage from the parking lot to the terminal. I only printed 1 luggage tag before the cruise, but last minute, I didn't want to bring my carry-on with me during the boarding process. The porters were able to get all our luggage to our cabins without tags. For peace of mind, always have your luggage tags printed in advance. The terminal for the Celebrity Ascent was stunning. We got through the whole check-in process very quickly in under 15 minutes, with the longest line being this spot, which was about 3 people deep. There were shots of sparkling water being handed out.
Thank you.
And I stopped at this desk here to have my credit card on file changed.
So we actually going to the right, so we're not going through the ship to start. Here we go, our first look inside the ship. Hello? Oh wow, you come in and there's like an art. Yeah, let's go left. We've got little sanitizing wipes to start off. It's a unique way of entering the ship and it's already festive down here. Wow. There's all sorts of people down here already. Oh my gosh, look at this ship. Wow.
It's the grand ballroom.
So this is like the main center, or is it like the atrium?
What is normally called the atrium of most older cruise ships, Celebrity calls the Grand Plaza. And I must say, this is the best setup I've ever seen on any cruise ship. The area has a Coliseum style seating, with your focus instantly drawn to the action at the bar or the entertainment down below. The multi-level seating areas provide many more sitting opportunities for great views. Throughout the sailing, this area was hopping.
So we are going to the room, get our cards, and then start checking out the ship. So we are in our room, which is on 9th deck, 275. This is AquaClass, and look at this. So we've got a twin bed set up, and look at this balcony. Whoa. This is actually pretty cool.
I can't think of a more controversial topic in cruising over the last 10 years than when Celebrity introduced their innovative infinite veranda cabins, which first appear on the Celebrity Edge. The cabins lack a separated balcony area that is accessible through a doorway at the end of the room. The new design allows for a bigger than normal interior cabin area. The area that would have been devoted to a traditional balcony is incorporated into the main cabin area. This increases the size by about 23%. This was my first time experiencing them, and I am a huge fan of these balconies. We usually have always sailed in a balcony, but I'm ashamed to say I rarely spend more than a few minutes in a balcony, mostly due to how hot they can get in the summer months. I do spend a lot of time in my cabin though, and to have this full view from the comfort of my air-conditioned cabin was a huge plus. The AquaClass living space on all Edge class ships is 243 square feet. The beds feature cashmere mattresses and luxurious pillows. If you're not happy with your pillows, there's a pillow menu where you can choose a different type. The linens were high quality and extremely soft, and by far the best sleep I've had on any cruise cruise ship outside of when we had an inside cabin on Princess Cruises. You just can't beat the sleek quality of a totally dark inside cabin, which stays cooler due to the sun not hitting your cabin during the day. Like on most cruise cabins, electrical outlets are limited. You have this box by the desk with some outlets. I slept on the left bed away from the balcony, and there wasn't an outlet near my bed. In order to connect my CPAP breathing machine, I brought this power strip. Make sure it doesn't have a surge protector, as those are never allowed on a ship. I also connected this little USB fan that helps me sleep at night. Our cabin attendant was always quick with cleaning our cabins in the morning. We also got turn down service, which includes the chocolates, which most lines have cut back on.
Is this a fridge? No, what is this? It's a fridge with a lock. I guess for medicines. Oh, there's sodas and stuff we will not be drinking. And we got more space. Oh, there's the spa menu. Space. Oh, yeah. Plenty of space. There's some robes, sandals, lots of more shelves, and the safe, and a little nice towel here. Tons of hangers. A little light accent art is really nice. I haven't seen a cabin with something like that. Oh, more storage. Oh my gosh, look at the storage. Laundry bags, shoe shine, the beach bags. There's even umbrellas. That's pretty cool. Oh my gosh, look at how big this stand-up shower is. Okay, that's nice. There is enough for 2 people's stuff on each side, so that's a really big plus. This is a large bathroom. I love this brand. I didn't know they have this.
My last 3 sailings have been on Virgin voyages, and while I do love Virgin, their bathrooms are tiny unless you get an extra large sea terrace, and their beds are the biggest complaint from passengers according to management at Virgin, and they plan on new beds in the future ships. So to have a beautiful shower and this spacious bathroom as well as some comfortable beds was a nice change for me on the Ascent. When I'm on a cruise, I'm usually not too concerned about the activities on board during the day, as I like to relax and spend time at the spa. Before the ship took off, there was a presentation at the spa, and one lucky winner was going to win $500 in spa services. The spa was packed for the presentation, and it was taking forever, so we left in the middle of the presentation. Since a horrible experience at a Princess Cruise spa years ago, I never get massages on board due to the hard sell of products that always follows the services. I decided to try a massage once again, and this is the lounge area where you will wait to be called before your services. Before the massage, you fill out a health questionnaire. The more things you mark down as ailing you, the more products you will be sold. My therapist started selling me new products before the massage even started. After the massage was done, she sold me even more product, and I had to tell her no multiple times, in which she kept on asking why not. Her demeanor changed after she realized I would not be a buyer, and she quickly escorted me out. The spa on cruise ships are ran by third parties, and they constantly fire employees that fail to upsell products. So the employees are always under stress for losing their jobs. The spa itself is beautiful, and the AquaClass includes access to the thermal suite area, or you can buy a pass that gives you access to your sailing. The thermal suite area never felt full of passengers. The best things were the heated loungers with great views of the ocean, as well as 2 different types of steam rooms. The Himalayan salt room is supposed to help with respiratory issues. The rest of the thermal suite felt gimmicky and of no value. These rain showers were neat for a few seconds, but the lack of wet areas like hot tubs found at the Norwegian cruise spas, or even Virgin with their wet areas and cold plunges, was a little bit let down. This crystallarium room is supposed to heal your energy. The room smells good, but I'm not sure I was getting much benefit from it. The biggest disappointment for me was the infrared sauna. I just finished 20 minutes in this infrared sauna. It's not hot in here, and I have literally no sweat, so it needs to be much hotter. It's nice in here though. You have a great view if you just want to come and relax. That's the view. Also, why would you build the gym above the spa? You could hear the bangs from the weights being dropped as I sat in the salt room trying to relax. The gym, as I mentioned earlier, is literally right above the spa. Walk up the stairs in the spa and make a left to enter the gym. Just remember, don't drop the weights on the ground. There's plenty of towels available for your workout, as well as wet ones to cool off afterwards. The size of the gym is impressive, and even during the busiest times in the morning on sea days, you can get a good workout in with a little bit of patience. The gym features a wide selection of machines for use, including free weights, as well as Peloton bikes. There's a spacious exercise studios with TRX bands, and if you're interested in spin class, they have shoes available for you to use with the bikes. We got the upgraded Wi-Fi, which worked well about 95% of the time. time. I only paid for one device, and I was able to switch from my phone to computer easily when I needed to do some work. I spent a lot of time at the cafe during the day. The electrical outlets are limited, so make sure your computer is powered up. The cafe has some of the best desserts on the ship, and I had way too many of these chocolate tartlets. The Le Grand Bistro is located right by the cafe. It's a sit-down restaurant and has a selection of sandwiches and desserts available for purchase. I was making great progress with work one day, and I didn't want to lose my spot at the cafe, so I got a sandwich and pastry for around $14, and it was delicious. Now that we have sun, this area out here is stunning. It's so relaxed. It is beautiful to see all this greenery. People always ask if they can catch the game while on board a ship. Well, the rooftop garden was packed for the NFL playoffs. The games were also shown at the sports bar, as well as multiple screens in the casino. Let's talk about the food on the ship and where most people eat their first meal on board, the buffet. This is the buffet scene when we boarded. While the buffet was crowded on a near capacity sailing, the design of the stations being spread out prevented bottleneck lines at most stations. There's several stations where you can have food prepared, and those are the only ones that had lines. Even when it was extremely busy, getting a table to eat didn't take much effort. I think the longest I waited for a table was like 2 minutes. The breakfast at the buffet was delicious overall. My only letdown was the selection of sweetbreads like cinnamon rolls was limited and for the most part not too appealing. If you want a donut, there's none to be had on board. Also, it seemed like they would begin to break down breakfast at different times each morning, greatly reducing the availability of items in the last hour and a half of breakfast. I also ate dinner a few times at the buffet, which I had never done before on a cruise, mostly because we didn't do a good job making reservations for dinner, or we were in a hurry to go see a show, so a quick dinner was the best option. I was satisfied with what I had for dinner at the buffet. Also, like on most cruise ships, the desserts, especially the cakes at a buffet, look better than they taste. For better desserts, visit the cafe instead. The best chocolate chip cookie I've ever eaten on any cruise ship was on this Celebrity Ascent. You can find the cookie at the Eaton restaurant that is in the back of the ship. Eaton has a great quiet spot to view the ocean during the day, and the whole space is decorated with live plants throughout. Kind of looks like a scene from the Batman movie where Poison Ivy makes an appearance. Eaton is a very large area, and you can see it all in my walkthrough video. During the day, there's a cafe that has sandwiches and some other foods, and at night, there's shows in the space that are pretty amazing. I'll discuss the shows later in the video. Recently, I broke the screen of my tablet that was inside my overstuffed backpack when I tried shoving it under a seat on a flight. Since then, I've been mindful of how I pack. Level 8 has several unique and practical pieces of luggage that fit my needs when I travel. On this trip, I used the Roadrunner carry-on in a beautiful blue navy color. The bag features a unique hard front storage area that easily fits my MacBook Pro. It allows for easy access when going through security also. The pouch fully opens with multiple pockets for cables and important documents like passports. The polycarbonate hard shells make the bags light as a feather, and the white handle found on some bags provide great stability. My friends at Level 8 have provided a discount code for our viewers. I've posted the full details in the description below. Use the code RICK10 at checkout for a nice discount. Eden at Night is one of the specialty dining restaurants and where we had dinner the first night. We booked it 4 months in advance, and the only time slot available was 6 p.m. on sail away date. So if you're interested in eating, book it as soon as possible. So this tasting menu is $144 per person in addition to whatever you paid for online. And then on this one, you get, if you pay the cover charge before the cruise, you get 2 appetizers, 1 entree, and 1 dessert. So I got the gnocchi, and I got the risotto, and for dinner, I got the filet mignon, medium rare, with mashed potatoes, vegetables, and mushroom. Fried calamari with a salad and ink squid. Squid mayonnaise. This was by far the best meal I had on the ship. I was a little off put by the $144 tasting menu initially when it was presented to us, since we had already paid extra to eat here. The chocolate dessert was my favorite on the whole cruise. The chocolate was so smooth. There are 4 themed restaurants that are included in the price of your sailing. Normandy is held as the French Quarter of the Edge series ships and features contemporary French cuisine. Cosmopolitan is the equivalent of main room dining on cruise ship lines, where the menus feature new entrees each day. Tuscan Restaurant is described as an elevated version of the Tuscan Grill that's found on other Celebrity ships. And Cyprus offers a Greek menu featuring seafood as well as food and drinks from the Mediterranean region. The decor of all 4 dining rooms was stunning, and they were so nice that initially we thought they were part of specialty dining restaurants with an added cost.
These are all specialty dining restaurants?
Yes.
They're humongous.
Unfortunately, I didn't get to really try any of these restaurants as we had anytime dining. When we did try to eat at any of these, the wait time was around 30 minutes without a reservation, or on one night we were turned away for not being aware of the dress codes as we showed up in shorts. We got a few nasty comments from a passenger in line about being dressed in shorts. Shorts are allowed in the dining room except on the chic nights. Since we were in AquaClass, we had access to Blue, which we ate on one night. I didn't film any of it since we ate with some company, and there's plenty of videos about Blue online already. To get to most restaurants on the ship, you will walk through this pretty cool passage lined up with mirrors. While the ship felt very lively at night, especially around the Grand Plaza area, it felt like a ghost town once you got to the other side of this passage. Here's another great spot on the ship located by the guest relations desk where you can take some really cool pictures for social media. I couldn't help but just stare at this. It was so beautiful. Here's a few random things about my experience on the Ascent before I end with the best part. The Spa Cafe has a wide selection of fresh squeezed juices and smoothies. I ordered one as part of my beverage package and it was so good. There are also some healthy bites available, included at no extra charge. I would have gotten more, but it seems like every time I walked by the cafe, it was closed. The cafe has no set hours and the website just states open for breakfast and lunch. I saw a lot of people struggling with the doors of the public restrooms on the ship. You have to wave your hand in front of the sensor, and when it opens up, it is very slow to close. If you try to close it, it opens back up. After the door closes, you need to turn the knob, which didn't work in one particular restroom, which led to an embarrassing situation for me.
Well, I just had an embarrassing moment in the bathroom. As somebody opened the door, it's very difficult to kind of lock this door. I've tried it multiple times and I still can't really get it to lock.
The pool area never felt crowded on this sailing, which was at near capacity. The main pool is just huge. The light screen lit up the pool beautifully in the evenings. The infinity pools on the edge of the ship were also a great place to hang out on the sea days. You could have drinks delivered to the pool, but drinks inside the pool were prohibited, and staff constantly came by to tell people to put their drinks on the edge. I did my ship walkthrough video at 11 a.m. ship time on the first sea day, and while most chairs were taken by then, you could still get some loungers with great views. For cruise ports on this sailing, I only got off at my home country of Puerto Rico, which was getting ready for one of the largest festivals of the year. We wanted to visit the famous Choco Bar Cortez in Old San Juan, but it had just closed at 5 p.m. when we got there. The Choco Bar is a restaurant that has a full menu of food and drinks that all have chocolate in them. Chocolate Cortez was originally established in 1929 in the Dominican Republic, and the chocolate is produced in Puerto Rico. There are 2 locations in Puerto Rico and 1 in the Bronx in New York. As you can see by TripAdvisor, the reviews are incredible, and so is the food.
We had to ask one of the locals, good place to get authentic Puerto Rican food, but kind of away from the touristy area, and they recommended El Jibarito, so we are going to check that out.
We sat down and had dinner with 4 lovely people. 2 of them we met at the restaurant, and the wife was from Puerto Rico.
I was born and raised in Puerto Rico.
I'm from Ponce.
And she had fond memories from childhood of the food served here.
My mother in Norfolk, every Christmas Eve, my abuela would send her pasteles on the airplane in Norfolk, and we would run over to the airport and get the pasteles, and we would have our what they call peranda.
The 4 of them met on their flight from Virginia and bonded during this cruise.
To Virginia, mother and daughter.
Mother and daughter.
It's
Mom's retired.
Our 4th cruise together.
I love these stories of people that connect during their sailings. In fact, we had met these ladies earlier on the cruise, and they give us some great tips about the shows.
So y'all are the ones that told me about that show last night?
Bridges.
Yes.
So someone just told us to sit on the side for the show, so we're going to trust her and sit on the side.
Where did you tell me to sit for the best experience?
Around the stage in the front.
That's where I was at.
That's where you at? On the left or right?
We were way down front, maybe like
On the left or right side?
You were on the right side by the steps?
Yeah.
So they came down. Yeah.
Yes, it was perfect.
After dinner, we rushed back to the ship, which looked magical at night lit up. And finally, the best part of the sailing ended up being the entertainment, which originally was the reason I didn't ever plan on sailing Celebrity again. I know Celebrity's geared towards a clientele that expects a luxurious and relaxed environment, but on my first sailing on the Silhouette years ago, it seemed like the ship went to sleep at 9 p.m. and there just wasn't much to do. The cruise director looked like the author of The Golden Girls, and all the entertainment seemed to fall in line with that demographic. On the Ascent, the current cruise director is a young Latin fireball named Luigi.
Let me hear a 10,000 people, hola! Hola!
And the entertainment scene at night seemed to match his energetic persona. The ship was active late into the night. On most nights, there was a lot happening still at midnight with lots of opportunities to dance. From an energetic disco dance party to a packed ABBA sing-along. I had never done a silent disco and this was so much fun, either as a spectator or a participant. Tonight's gonna be a good night. The pool party, which was part of Shine the Night theme night, was high energy and people are encouraged to dress up in their shiniest outfits. Celebrities should make a bigger deal of the Shine the Night party and market this a lot more than they currently do. Overall, I had a blast dancing the night away on the ship. I'm not sure if any of these dance parties are also found on other Edge-class ships, but the Ascent has 6 new production shows. 3 of the shows are held in the theater, which features a gigantic LED screen and in-the-round seating. We sat near the front as suggested and had a blast for all shows. But according to this post in Cruise Critic, the best seating is the middle section, 3 rows back of the blue seats from the stage for ideal balanced sound and great views of the stage. Bridges was the first show we saw and visually was the best one. Bridges is described as a celebration of human connection, unity, and hope set against the backdrop of some of the world's most iconic bridges. Awaken was the more thought-provoking show. According to the website, it features songs that showcase surreal dreams. And while both shows were impressive, I enjoyed Residency the most. It features songs from artists that have performed residencies in Las Vegas. And a show-stopping performance of 2 different Celine Dion songs.
There were nights when the wind was so cold.
My first Celebrity cruise had very little entertainment, and the Celebrity Ascent was loaded with options. Here's one night where there's 4 great options happening at the same time. There was live jazz at the club, the Grand Plaza was always happening, there was live dance music going on. This was also the final performance from the comedian, which was great.
I couldn't smell him, but I bet he was wearing cologne. Older guys like that, they wear cologne. That's super sexy. I bet you when Sir Tom drops trouser, it doesn't look like a little bird like, ee. No. He's not manscaped. He drops trout, it looks like a buzzard hanging out of his nest on a cliff wall.
And finally, a show at Eaton. We only caught bits of the shows at Eaton. They all looked amazing, but you need to get there early and get a good seat. People stood up in front of you if you were seated in a chair, so for best views, watch the shows from above. Final thoughts on this cruise. Celebrity does everything so well with their target cruise audience that it's hard to find much fault anywhere. I still prefer Virgin as my top cruise line due to their food and onboard vibe, but that is a different cruise experience and they still have a lot of room for improvements in several areas. The entertainment on the Celebrity Ascent alone was enough for us to have a 10-night cruise already booked in 2025 on the same ship. If you have any questions about the Ascent or would like assistance in booking your next celebrity cruise, I'd be happy to help as a travel advisor with cruise planners. I posted my information in the description below. I hope you enjoyed my review of the Celebrity Ascent. Subscribe to the channel as I have much more cruise content coming up. We will be on the second sailing of the Royal Caribbean's Icon of the Seas, and we'll have much more content from that sailing. And as always, thanks for watching.